I'm Ryan from Monster Logo Studios, and this is the Dirtywave M8. A little while back, I made a video showcasing the first song I made on the M8. In that video, I pointed out that I was using the hop command on every phrase to create a 5/8 time signature. This is bad. Well, not really bad, but it's inefficient. Recently, I've been playing with the M8 Groove view, and I've realized that there's a much better way to accomplish the odd time signatures, and there's some other pretty neat things you can do with grooves as well. Let's start with the basics. The M8 audio engine has a resolution of 24 ticks per quarter note, or 96 ticks per phrase. This means that each of the 16 phrase rows has a default length of 6 ticks. Grooves allow you to alter that number of ticks per row, or to skip phrase rows entirely. And once you understand the math, you can use grooves to alter the swing or feel of your phrase, create triplets, and implement odd time signatures. By default, all tracks use the 00 groove. You can change which groove is assigned to the track at any particular point using the groove effects command, but I'd be careful about mixing grooves within a given phrase to avoid overall chain length issues. If you look at the default 00 groove, there are two 6-tick rows. The groove loops whenever an empty row is encountered, so this pair of 6 ticks repeats 8 times over the 16-step phrase for a total of 96 ticks. This could actually just be a single 6-tick row, and it would achieve the same result. If I remove the second row and play my phrase, it sounds exactly the same. Now, the groove is a single 6-tick row played 16 times, still a total of 96 ticks. So why isn't the default groove just one row of 6 ticks? I believe you're given a pair to start with to demonstrate one of the groove's default behaviors, which is auto increment or decrement of the row above or below while you're adjusting in order to maintain the same net value overall. If I put the second row of 6 ticks back in and then change one or the other using the edit button plus up and down, you can see that it modifies the other value in the opposite direction to maintain a total original groove count over the phrase length, or 96 ticks in this case. This is how you can easily implement swing patterns. If we switch to phrase 1, you can see that I'm calling groove 0, 1 on the first note. In groove 1, I've modified the pattern to weight the first 16th note twice that of the second 16th note. We still have a total of 12 ticks across the two increments, or 96 ticks per phrase total, but by shortening the length of every other 16th note, or lengthening it depending on how you're counting, we get a swing-like feel, like this. If I play the swing groove and the original groove, groove 0, back to back, you can clearly hear the difference. Here we're swinging, groove 0, 1, default groove 0. Now let's talk about triplets. With 24 ticks per quarter note, it's possible to implement tuplets, which is the fancy term for note groupings that wouldn't normally occur within a beat. You're limited to group numbers that are factors of your overall phrase length in ticks. So if you wanted to do quintuplets, you'd need a total phrase length that was divisible by 5. But let's keep it simple for now. To set up a triplet groove, I'm first going to do a little math to figure out how many ticks I want for each triplet. If I want to play 8th note triplets, that would give me a total of 12 equally weighted notes across the phrase. Since the phrase is 96 ticks, I can divide 96 by 12 to determine my triplet tick value, which is 8 ticks. So I can assign each of the 8 ticks to the first 12 rows. But what do I do with the last 4? If I leave them blank, the groove will just cycle like it did with the default groove, and my phrases will be out of sync. Since I only want 12 notes per phrase, I can use 00 to skip the last 4 steps entirely. Now when I play the phrase, it plays the first 12 notes with 8 ticks each and then skips the last 4. Combining this with a basic 4/4 beat, you can hear the triplet pattern in effect. I'm getting 3 hi-hat clicks per quarter note, or 8th note triplets. This same technique can be used for odd meter, like the 5/8 song I mentioned at the beginning. Rather than putting a hop command in every one of the phrases, I could have just used the 00 groove value to skip the 16th notes I didn't want. In this track, I've modified the default groove. I'm still using 6 ticks per row, which is the default value, but I'm omitting the last two 16th notes for a 7/8 pattern using 2 00 rows. This same technique could be used for 5/8 by placing 00 values in rows A through F. I hope this helped. There are probably some other interesting applications for grooves, but these are all the ones that I've encountered so far. If you know anything I missed, would love to hear about it in the comments. Again, I'm Ryan from Monster Logo Studios. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.